Howdy folks, welcome to episode 15. Today we are going to work some more on the base, but first I need to get some iron mined out. So I'm in this iron deposit here that's got about 3,000 in it, and I'm working on that. I'm planning on emptying this one out before I go back to the base. As you can see, the base is just right over here, so we're not actually very far. I like how it looks at night too, it's pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, so I'm working on that. I've got the hovercraft here with running and making ingots out of all the stuff that I'm doing. If it actually catches up, it'll start making plates, which, yeah, it's not going to catch up. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now, and when I'm done, I will meet you over at the base. Okay guys, we are back at the little base, and this is my crafting room. I've got 10 constructors set up right now, 9 large constructors and an advanced constructor, and then in here I've got 2 more, and then I've got the survival constructor. So this is what I've been doing to smelt all the ores and turn them into blocks, because you have to smelt them into ingots and then turn the ingots into plates and then the plates into blocks. So it can be kind of tedious, and it's still tedious because you have to split them up, but I assume they will be doing some sort of system where you can pipe items from one constructor to another or into and out of storage in order to kind of automate crafting once you get to more advanced levels. Now these are all large constructors with the exception of the one, and if you have the resources, the main bottleneck on that is power coils. But yeah, if you have the power coils to do it, I would suggest doing the advanced constructors instead of the large constructors. When I had originally looked at it, it showed that the advanced constructors use more energy, but they also craft more quickly. So yeah, you can get stuff done a lot faster that way. So I highly recommend doing that. The other aspect over here that I'm doing is the survival game, and so I've got canned meat here that I'm producing, and I'm making those out of, I've got a meat supply here that I go out hunting here and there with, either by hand or with the pistol, or I go out on the HV and shoot stuff up with the turret. So yeah, there's the raw meat, and I'm using that with the tomatoes upstairs to make canned meat. So I got a ton of canned meat, and so yeah, here's the tomatoes are up here. As you can see, I've got 6 there. I've got another one over there that's growing, and so yeah, I get 7 with each cycle, which is more than I'm eating, so that's why my supply is building up. But yeah, I plan to go to the emergency rations soon and do those instead of the canned meat, because then you don't take up so much room in your inventory and you can go a lot longer between meals and everything. So that's going to be a future episode. We need to go to Omicron and get some of the eggplant stuff. So anyway, yeah, I will meet you guys over at the big base, and we'll do some more work over there today. So see you in a minute. Okay folks, we're back and we're over at the base, and a funny thing happened on the way to the base. Yeah, my wife wanted to play together, and we haven't played together for a bit, so yeah, we did some mining and stuff together. And also I gathered up all of the constructors. I basically took apart all of the stuff at the other base. Let me turn that off. I took apart all the stuff at the other base and put it all together in here so I could start moving. So I've picked all the plants, and I've got all the stuff from the food processor. I've got all of my survival gear, weapons and supplies, and then I've got stuff from the constructors, the ingots. This is the second trip over. I had grabbed all this stuff when I took the constructors apart. So, and then I've got my building blocks and stuff here. So I'm going to put all that stuff inside, and I haven't showed you guys, I finished up the inside too. So decorated in here, kind of. I at least have walls up. So this is the drop shaft, or this is the elevator shaft that goes all the way up to the sky. And then this is the hallways. So I divided this big area into 4 different hallways, and so far this one here is the crafting room. So I've got 4 advanced constructors so far, and I'm planning on probably putting in another 4, and then also I've got the medical and the oxygen over here, and I've also got fridges with food. And this is the ready to eat food, so this stuff would go in here, and then these up here are the food that's to be prepared. So this is the, I'm going to put in another food processor here, and yeah, we have a little meat. So yeah, this is the stuff that that's 1, 2, and 3 fridges full of meat. So yeah, this is the stuff that's going to be turned into other things and doesn't need to expire on the way there. So that's what that stuff is. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, we went mining. We got like one of everything. I think we got a silicon, an iron, copper, cobalt, and some promethium too. So let me show you what we got. We got quite a bit. So here's the iron. We emptied out a huge iron. Yeah, so we got all these, and let me see, what did she put in here? She put in the promethium. So we got promethium out the Yu-Yang. I got magnesium powder and drill charges. Okay, so yeah, and there's some more stuff in one of these, I think. Yeah, so I moved all of my supplies and everything over to this constructor for now. So I'm going to get crafting and build a bunch more of the whatchamacallits. Oh, and I should also show you. Yeah, we went all this meat. We went hunting. It was there's a spot between the two bases. There's a spot between the two bases that I kept flying over, and there's like a zillion mobs walking around on there, and we happened to be going by that way, and I'm like, let's just stop and jump out and shoot a bunch of stuff. So I mean, we just went nuts. It was hilarious, and shot a ton of mobs and everything. And I've seen that on a lot of maps. They tend to gather in certain spots, and it usually is on the water's edge from what I've seen. And so I'm thinking that it's basically trying to spawn a specific number of mobs in a certain area, and if a lot of that area is water, then there's just that shoreline is the only place that it can actually find as a valid spawn, and it hasn't hit a cap yet, so it just starts putting them all there. That's my guess anyway. I don't know, maybe it's something else, but it's probably something they'll want to fix in the future. And one other thing I added here is the drop shafts. So as you can see here, in each of these rooms in the divider here is a drop shaft, and so this is to get down from the second floor down to the first floor. You can just fall, whee, and you just land on the elevators, so you're totally fine. So you can do that instead of running or going down the elevator slowly. So yeah, I threw some lights in here, and there's a little bit of decoration. And so yeah, let me get some crafting done, and then we'll do a little building here today. And so let me get that done, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back. It's morning again. I've got the constructors going upstairs, and I thought I'd show you this little build that I'm doing down here. I've got some struts that I put, or whatever supports that I put, and the pillars go down under the water and come up so that it looks like the thing is actually supported by the ground. It's not just floating in the air and everything. And I also did the same down here. I put the column all the way down under the water and everything. So I wanted to show you how I do this. So I'm going to duplicate this side, and I did a measurement block here. When I had the symmetry plane up across this way, I just put these here so that I know where I'm going. So I will show you this trick that you can do. Let me see. I probably need to get... No, I won't need to get closer, will I? Okay. So I'm going to put these here. There we go. And also put that up. Up? Yeah, there. Okay. And so we're going to have a block, we're going to have this little angled block on the top. And I want to show you what I do with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to split these into two stacks because there's a nice little trick you can do with this. So say I'm going to do these that are going to be facing this way, and then I'm also going to be putting another block that's going to be like that, except it's going to be facing the opposite direction on the top, as you can see over there. So instead of having to flip the block back and forth over and over, you can do this on this side, and you can use this stack for the other side. So now instead of having to flip blocks back and forth and round and spin them around and hope you got the right orientation, you can just do this. And then I've got this one that's already set for upside down, and it's good to go. So if you look here, now you can build your stack with your different blocks in different orientations, as long as you have enough spots on your hotbar. So I'm sure you guys already know how to build a little pillar like this, so I won't bore you with the details, and I'll just finish this up and come back in a minute. Okay guys, we're back, and I've got all the feet done. So I couldn't help myself, and while I was checking on the silicone and the glass plates that we're making, yeah, I kind of had to come down here and throw them all on because it's cool. So it looks a lot nicer with all the windows on. I used about a stack and a half of silicone and most of a stack of iron, but you know, that's to be expected because, you know, the claw is a base of extraordinary magnitude. So let's get up here, and we're going to put on the defense turrets finally, after I think I've mentioned it like 100 times now that I wanted to do that, and so yeah, now we'll finally get to do it. So I put up a plane, so we'll do both sides at the same time, and we'll get the cannons here. We have cannons, we have plasma turrets, we have rocket turrets, and flak turrets. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of each. So here are the rocket turrets. We're going to put these on the corners, and let's see, we're going to put them there. Yeah, I think there's a good spot. Okay, so which way are they facing? Okay, I can't tell which. Oh, that looks like the way it's going to shoot. Okay, so yeah, we'll put one on here, and don't fall off the edge. Not that I would ever do something like that. And one here. Okay, and we're going to put on some plasma turrets. Here we go, and we'll put those in the middle. Let's see if they can, let's see what kind of shots we get from here. Awesome. That's perfect. Okay, so there's our turrets. That's really cool. I love it. Okay, and also I want to put some on the bottom too. So we'll put the cannons and the flaks on the bottom, so that we have a nice array of defensive weapons here. Let's see if those will fit. Put the cannons up on the corner, or we'll put the flaks on the corner. Let's put the flak on the corner. Okay, so these are the flak turrets, and I want to place them right like that, and I want it pointing out the end. So yeah, like that. That's awesome. Okay, and one over here. We'll get this one up here. There we go. Oh, I gotta see what that looks like. I wonder if I wonder if the turrets work the same way where when you get out of them, you exit in the same spot you came in. Because I want to try getting in there, but I don't want to... I don't want to fall out. I don't want to fall into the ocean when I get out. So let's see if... Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. And it looks like they can't shoot them. Oh, they can shoot themselves. But you can't shoot your own base anymore. So let's see what happens when I get out. Ah! I knew it. I knew it. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, yeah. I'm going to have to wait for the ship to come back down, so I'll be back in a minute, you guys. Or maybe I can get up there. Let's see if I can get there before it comes back down. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's falling now. It's falling now. Oh, that's... Yeah, that figures. It just started falling, and... Let me see if I can catch it with my jetpack. Nope, it's already down on the ground. Yeah, that figures. Okay. And I need to put on the cannons in the middle. So put those up there. See, this is why I put those spotlights on there, because then you know where your front of your ship is aligned. Okay. So... and do not get into the turrets from... It's a good thing that wasn't over land. That would really hurt. Okay, so we're going to point it... Which way? Is this pointing the right way? I can't see the barrel. Let me see. I can't see the barrel. Come on, show me the barrel. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Like that. Oh, no, 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 no. What just... Whoa! Don't do that either. Okay, Oh, no. No, 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 no. Ship, do not land upside down on the ocean, on the bottom of the ocean. Okay. Whew. I've had ships land upside down on the bottom of the ocean, and it's a disaster when that happens. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's see what else can we screw up today. Alright, let me put the turrets on the other side, and I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and that's finished up, and we've got them on all four turrets now, or we've got them on all four sides. So we've got all that done, and there's one other thing I wanted to show you, and that is on the ship. If you look at this screen, you look at the landing gear here. Now, it doesn't show that there's any damage to them. And let's... Whoa, what just happened there? I don't know what just happened there. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, so the landing gear... Yeah, I just damaged my cockpit. Okay, see, the cockpit shows damage. The landing gear doesn't show damage. And so we get out and look at the landing gear. And, you know, they're obviously damaged. It's letting us repair them. They take a little bit of damage when you land. I've tried landing gently and stuff, and I guess if you spend maybe 5 minutes trying to land real soft, maybe you can do it without damaging your landing gear. But yeah, no, you pretty much want to repair your landing gear every once in a while, just to make sure, because they do break here and there, and you don't want that to happen. So that's another tip for you with your ships. Anyway, we are out of time for today. That's going to be it for episode 15 Join me for episode 16, and we're going to go to Omicron and have some adventures there. I need to pick up some supplies to start making the MREs. I need the eggplant thingies, and I might mine some stuff and attack some POIs over there. We'll see what we can do over there. So join me in episode 16, and we'll see you later.